Hey everyone, welcome to the series of videos on how to read and write to Google Sheets using Python. In the previous video, we saw how we could read data from the Google Sheet. This was a sheet that we created. Sheet's name is called Employees. One of the tabs is Salaries. I mean, there is only one tab here, but the tab's name is Salaries, and we have a few employees with their salaries. So what we basically did in the previous video was create this sheet and went ahead and read this in Python. In this video, we will create another tab called hi_salaries, and I will create it as I speak. Hi_salaries. Basically, we want to do some filtering in Python. I will say that above a certain threshold, get me only these users and push it to this tab, right? So we'll be doing this, and yeah, what's important for you to note here is that you need to watch the previous video in order to just write, because there is a series of processes that you have to do before you are allowed to interact with your GSheet using Python. So you have to create a service account and you have to share your sheet with that service account. So if you see here, I've already shared my sheet with the service account. So this is the service account, employees at employees-315215. So I've already shared this sheet with the service account, and I did this in the previous video. I went through the entire process of doing this. So if you haven't watched that, I would strongly recommend you to stop this video here now and watch the first video of the series, so that you can come to this stage where you have already created a service account, you have already shared the sheet with your service account, and then we can go ahead and create the code which interacts with your sheet. Okay. So if you haven't gone yet, now is the time to go pause this video and go watch that video first. Okay, moving on. Now I assume that you've already watched the first part of this series of videos, and now let's move on. Now we have this tab high salaries. I will move on to the Jupyter lab or Jupyter notebook that I had created earlier. What we had done earlier was we had created this function called getSheetData, and we had passed a sheet name and tab name to this function, and it was able to read the data into a data frame for us, and we did a few manipulations here. Now for us to be able to write back to the sheet, there's a very nice package which is again based on gspread and which allows us to easily manipulate data frames, and this is called gspread data frame, and the way to install it is pip install gspread data frame. I'm going to do that right now. I have it already installed, so maybe that's why it got installed so quickly, but it'll take some time for you to install. And really cool package. We'll use this to write to this data frame. But before we write, let me just create, say, a high salaries data frame, which is, again, this is just an example. It could be anything, right? df dot, what is the column name? Salaries. df of salaries should be, say, greater than or equal to 300, and let's see how many. I haven't run. Okay, I need to run this. I need to read first. Sorry. Let me read the data. Yep. Now. Okay, so we now have a data frame with only Jill and Hill, whose salaries are greater than or equal to 300. I'm going to push this to the tab that we've already seen. Let me write another function. Maybe this function could be write data frame to sheet, and this will take the arguments, your GSheet name, your tab name where you want to push, and your data frame. Now we could either return a data frame or push a data frame in this function itself. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and say I'll push the data frame in this itself. Okay, now that we know we need GSheet name, so I'm going to just say GSheet name here, and we already know our GSheet name. Or I could do one thing, I could copy these two and then change the tab name. Or how about I copy the entire import statements as well. Let's make a self-contained cell for now. Right, GSheet name, tab name, and data frame. Our tab name now is hi underscore salaries. So I will just say hi underscore capital SA salaries, and then I mentioned we're going to use gspread data frame, and this is the function from gspread data frame that we're going to use, set with data frame. So I'm just going to copy this and then keep set with data frame. You could also go through this documentation and see the different kinds of functions there exist. I'm going to just use set with data frame, right? Okay, so the way to go about this is, again, I have to first reference my service account, which I will again copy from here. I need my service account. I need to open the sheet and access the worksheet. So I'm going to copy these 3 lines from my previous function. I'm going to put them here. And if you want an explanation of what is happening here, please watch the previous video, and where did this file name come from. All of that is mentioned in the previous video, so please do watch that. So gspread.service account, open the gsheet, have a worksheet, and now I'm going to use set with data frame to set the data frame. Rather, where do I want to push this? To the worksheet and to this data frame. And I think that's it. I mean, that's as simple as doing that. And now I can just say write df to sheet. I already have the gsheet name. I have the tab name defined, and my data frame name comes from here. Now if I run this, this should go ahead and push this data frame into this tab, which is empty right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and run this. Oh, what was the issue? API error, code 403, the message says the caller does not have permission. Status permission denied. Okay. And when I was doing this for the first time, I encountered this error as well. And I've just kept this error here. I mean, I sort of expected this error to come. I've just kept this error here so that you guys also don't run into the same issue. I ran into this issue and I spent a few hours trying to debug this. The issue here is very simple, and I'll show you what the issue is. So we have this sheet, and I remember I told you we have to share this sheet with a service account so that you're able to read it through that service account, read or write to it, right? Now this is a permissions issue. If you read the error, so the caller does not have permission. And why does it not have permission? And is because we have not given it the permission to write. So we've given it a permission of a viewer, if you see. So if I go ahead and allow it to edit, that should solve the problem for us. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and run this same cell again. Okay, the cell has run. And the data should be here, but the data is not here. Now something has happened. Let me reload this. There you go. Last edit was made seconds ago by employer, so it took some time for it to push, which usually doesn't happen. So I was sort of surprised that this took this much time, but I'm glad it's here, and this is the subset of users with a salary greater than or equal to 300. So yeah, I mean, that's it, right? So you have your data frame. You were able to read your data into a data frame, make some manipulations, like in this case, a threshold value, and then once you have those manipulations ready, you put them in a data frame and then push this entire data frame to your GSheet. Now you can automate this, you can make this as a script, you can keep running this on regular intervals, and then you have an entire system that can read and write to and from Google Sheets. From and to Google Sheets. Okay, I hope this video was useful. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And please, please, please subscribe to the channel.